Tell us what it was like for you when you saw what was going on.
Well, Wolf, at the beginning of that news conference, Donald Trump indicated that he was not going to call on me or call on CNN. He sort of pointed at me at one point and then waved his hand as if you're not going to get a question. And then as the news conference went on, as you heard, he was attacking this news organization repeatedly. And I felt it was only fair that if our news organization is going to be attacked, that we get a chance to ask a follow-up question about what Donald Trump was talking about. And fortunately, my colleague Cecilia Vega over at ABC did ask a question that I was going to ask, which is, did Donald Trump have any contacts who were in contact with the Russians in the context of this campaign? She actually did not get an answer on that question. I don't know if you noticed that at the podium, but as he was going to the elevators, we all were asking him again to answer that question, and he said no, that nobody associated with him or his campaign was in contact with the Russians during the context of that campaign. So I do want to pass on that little bit of news along, because he did not answer that question formally during that news conference. I should also tell you that at one point during this news conference, just in the interest of full disclosure, and so everybody knows what's going on and what was happening in the room, after I asked and I guess you might say demanded that we have a question, Sean Spicer, the incoming press secretary, did say to me that if I were to do that again, I was going to be thrown out of this press conference. Of course, Wolf, I had to persist there and try to get that question asked. But in the end, the question was asked, and a lot of questions were asked during this press conference. Donald Trump did provide some answers. As you said, Wolf, he is taking the position that this report that the intelligence community warned him that the Russians might have compromising information on him. He is describing that as fake news, and he's holding to that position. But at the same time, Wolf, because of the need to go back and forth with Donald Trump on these key questions, a lot of policy questions did not get asked. Some policy questions did about Obamacare. It was interesting to hear the President-elect say that he is going to have some kind of replace package ready to go in fairly short order after a repeal bill. If you talk to Republicans up on Capitol Hill, though, that is not what they're saying. And so, as is always the case with Donald Trump news conferences, questions are asked, but more questions remain, Wolf.
All right, Jim Acosta, thanks very much. He also said within 2 weeks he'd nominate someone for the United States Supreme Court.